My name's Jan Gould and I'm the priest in charge in the parish of Ely, which is in West Cardiff. It's a very socially deprived area with very high crime levels, high unemployment, high number of families living on benefit, very major poverty-related issues in the area. Quite a challenge. Before I was ordained, I studied at Trinity College of Music in London. I did a 4-year performers course and then was awarded a scholarship for a 5th year study in chamber music with a string quartet that I played in. And then when we finished college, we turned professional. Prior to that, I was in a youth orchestra in my hometown, which consisted of about 1,200 children in different sections, and did that for many years, from the age of about 11 until I went to college. It was about 4 years ago, I was watching the proms, and there was a youth orchestra from Venezuela playing, and these children, it turned out, had come through a project called El Sistema, which had been set up in Venezuela about 30 years ago. There was a politician there who'd become quite disillusioned with what was happening in his country, the number of children living on the streets, addicted to drugs, no apparent future for them. And being passionate about classical music himself, he literally took 12 children off the streets, and for 5 days a week they learnt the violin all day. And now, 30 years later, there's about 500,000 children in this project. Many of them have become professional musicians. And in fact, 3 years ago, the Berlin Philharmonic appointed its youngest ever player, a 17-year-old violinist. And when this lad was 11, he was on the streets of Venezuela hooked on heroin. And in 6 years, he's become a professional musician with one of the best orchestras in the world. And I thought, if they can do this in Venezuela, we can do it in Ely, which in many ways is quite similar in its social makeup. I initially made contact with the head of outreach at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, because I knew that students had to do outreach as part of their degree, and that would be a cheap way of getting some quality help into the project in terms of teaching and performing.
Jan approached me at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, and I thought it was a very good idea to get the students involved in this project, because it is quite an intense way of teaching, and the students are not really aware at the college of that sort of teaching. And so by being a mentor to them and getting some of my colleagues in from Welsh National Opera and around, we could actually help them to develop that idea.
I just love seeing how the children progress throughout the week and how enthusiastic they get and how inspired they get, and that makes me feel inspired too, really, to continue with my musical adventures as well. So
we set up our initial pilot project in Herbert Thompson School, where there were already children learning, and we sent in some practice pals to mentor the children during the week, because they weren't allowed to take their instruments home.
It's just a really rewarding thing to do, and to hear the children say really nice things about the project. One boy yesterday said, I learn so much more here than I do at school, which was lovely to hear.
Over the years, we've noticed a real improvement in the children's behaviour in school generally. Teachers comment on it. One young boy who was on the verge of exclusion now wants to be a cellist when he grows up, and he's a model student. So that was our first pilot, and then we set up Feel Good Fridays, which are monthly concerts in term time performed by students from the music college. And they're very interactive concerts where the children get involved, talking to the performers and having a go on some instruments. And we bring about 100 children in each time from different schools, so we're deliberately mixing the schools and trying to encourage children to form friendships across school boundaries, which again breaks down the tribalism of the area.
Holly, there's lots going on here today. What are you doing?
I'm playing the cornet and I can't wait to do the concert.
So have you been here all week?
Yeah.
And what's been going on all week?
Well, we've been doing games, practicing, of course, and doing fun stuff.
So Craig, how long have you been playing the flute?
2 years.
And what do you enjoy about it?
You can make lots of different noises.
And what about the orchestra? What have you been doing here today?
Practicing some songs for when we perform.
So you're a bit nervous about the concert?
Yeah.
Anyone you know coming?
Yeah, my nan and my auntie Shal.
Jan came to the PCC with the idea, because Jan is very musical herself, and we just thought it was a good opportunity for the whole church to be involved.
The congregation have been very committed to the project, helping volunteering, providing refreshments for children. Whenever we put any kind of event on, they are the ones that come along and make the squash, make the toast, make the sandwiches. We also provide the venue for the project to take place and have become very much identified as the home of the project. And obviously, as the project develops more, we'll be using more of the congregation in those roles.
We're not all musical, but we all understand that children can develop through music. So we were excited by it, and I think we're going to look forward to the promotion and the success of it, hopefully.
Funding is the major challenge that we face. So far, in 3 years, we've raised £28,000, and that's almost gone. So we're working now on a very big grant application which would sustain us for the next 3 years as we seek to expand and develop into further instrument groups of teaching. This week we've had a whole week of, we've called it Feel Good Summer Music. It began last year. We had 25 children came in for a week, and they had a chance to try different string instruments and recorders. And now, because we've had more funding, we've been able to buy brass and woodwind instruments as well. So those who have come in as complete beginners have been able to try all of those different instruments over this week. Those that do play an instrument have been playing in an orchestra, and all the children are going to be performing in a concert on the last day, whether they're complete beginners or whether they're hardened or seasoned, I should say, year-long players. So it's been great fun. The highlights for the week have been seeing the children's faces when they realise they can do something that they never imagined they would. They arrived on the first morning, and as they come in each day, we have some of our staff who are either music students or professionals giving a mini concert so the children come in and listen to the concert. And the first day they came in and they're like, oh, I could never do that. And now here they are 5 days later, and they're going to be performing in a concert in just a few hours' time.
But it's lovely to see you all, and I can promise you that you are in for a treat today.
I think a project like ours is really good for any community, but particularly for communities like Ely, because music teaches children all kinds of things. It teaches them discipline, it teaches them to learn to listen to other children, self-respect, it gives them self-esteem, it gives them aspirations of a different future, possibly. The parents are seeing what's happening with these children. They're becoming very proud in what their children are achieving. And last year we saw parents in tears at the concert at the end of our summer week. They had no idea that their children could do this.
So you've got 2 children here today?
Yeah, 2, yeah.
What have they been playing?
One playing the bongo and one playing the violin.
So could they play the instruments before?
No, not at all. No.
So what does it feel like as a parent seeing them playing today?
Oh, it's fantastic. Really proud of them.
What do they think of it?
They say it's nice, they're playing nicely, and they're going to be in the concert if I can come to see them. That's fine.
Well, it's not something that I would be able to afford otherwise, so it's a really good opportunity for them.
It's good to see the end product. You see her practicing constantly at home, unless, she's constantly playing the flute all the time. So to see her at the end of it all and it come together is really good.
Could she play the cello before she started this week?
No, she's the first time she started playing on Wednesday.
And how do you feel as a father seeing her play?
Very proud I am, very, very proud of her.
Oh, I get huge personal satisfaction from this project because, as you know, I was a professional musician before I was ordained, and I had to have surgery that stopped me playing overnight, and my career just came to a crashing end in the space of 24 hours. For many years then I couldn't play at all. And it seemed so cruel to me. Why had I been given these gifts of music and then to have it taken away like that? And I just couldn't understand what God was playing at, really. And the desire for music never left me. And so all the satisfaction that I had playing as a professional musician, I'm now finding again through doing this work in the parish, which is obviously running in parallel with all the other aspects of ordained ministry that I do.
What did you like about being in the orchestra?
Like it's all fun and you get to play all different like sounds and that.
Have you played the cello before?
No.
So are you going to carry on playing the cello?
Yeah, I'm coming back in September.
I learned more in a week than I did in a year in my guitar lessons.
Like, it gave me a confidence to play in front of all different people.
So the hope is in the long term, really, to build an orchestra for Ely and Caerau that the community can be really proud of and that can put Ely in a good light in the media, because we hear so many bad stories from this area in the press. And we want to show people that there's some really good stuff going on in this community.